How's it going, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. So, this is going to be part 4 in building the Minuteman kit, or neighborhood protection plan, as we progress through the series. But up front, we are building the kit first, what goes on you, and then, like I said, progress to other stuff. So today, in part 4, we're going to be talking about medical-based items, which is very, very key. A lot of people will overlook this particular step in building a kit. They'll have like the Gucci rifle all set up perfectly, your plate carrier, all like the cool guy slings and ammunition stockpile and stuff like that, but not have medical. Medical is very, very key, and that is what we're going to go over. So this is kind of the introduction. Like this whole series in the beginning is that crawl, walk, run type of phases, and we're in the crawl phase of getting your kit together, my recommendations, my suggestions. So we're going to go over IFAKs and CLS kits. So those are the two that I use terminology of. Now I get it, there's a lot of other stuff out there, the PFAKs and MFAKs and mass casualty based stuff, and so these are the two that I kind of dumb it down to and utilize. Now I get it, there's other people out there that are probably way more in depth or maybe trained EMT wise that are probably going to call me out on certain things, but this is just the basic kind of battlefield medicine that we're going to dive into, which everyone should basically need to know how to accomplish. So how to do it, now what do you need to do it? That's what we're going to get into. So IFAK, first of all, personal use. So this, for example, this is a smaller IFAK that you can place on yourself, along with multiple others that I can show you, and I will. IFAK is for individual use, meaning it is on you, strategically placed, where you can access it for yourself. Now, if you would have, say, a friend or a neighbor or something like that would get wounded from, say, a rifle, let's just say that's the mechanism of injury, you go to him because obviously you want to, provide aid as long as you have cover concealment and all that kind of stuff is set up. You will not use your personal items on your IFAK for him or her, because if you utilize, like say you pull this off, okay, we're going to treat you, cool, threw that on, use that, okay, you're stable, let's get you to cover. Now you use all your kit, and now you progress somewhere else, like 20 feet away, you're like, hey, I'm going to go check on this. And in that meantime, you get wounded, you go for your kit, and you're just like, I just used my kit on that other guy, and now I have nothing. That's why we always use the kit that is placed on somebody. So if I come upon someone, I'm not going to go for my kit. You go for theirs. So later on in the series, when we're going to be talking about group mentality or group mindset, you're going to have SOPs or standard operating procedures of where to place these kits. So if they're within your group, hey, they're either going to be on the right side back, left side, belt, wherever you guys decide to put this, that is where one of the 3 locations you can find it. So you come upon someone, cool, back left, I know right where it is. You grab his IFAK, pull it out, and then assist him with his items so yours don't get used up. Perfect. So IFAK, individual first aid kit. Multiple different types. Now you have smaller stuff like this. Honestly, this is a very small one you can throw in a cargo pocket. Does it have all the capabilities of, say, well, let's go with this, a larger IFAK? No, of course not. Based off of weight, situation, and what you are going to face, you can kind of get enough stuff, which we're going to go into. What is the baseline, which I recommend that you have? So, first off, there's different types you can get. So like I said, cargo pocket on the side, MOLLE-wise, which I prefer MOLLE quite a bit. Actually, I have one item down here that fell, which I prefer. I have mine kind of expanded right now, kind of opened up, which it's going to be real sealed up and everything. But this thing's dusty and dirty because I use it, and it's kind of messed up at the moment, just because I dug into it literally 5 minutes ago looking for stuff. So on the back side of this, where it's MOLLE, has 2 MOLLE pull strips, which I will show. Let's get that set up. Look like this. 2 pull strips. Really nice because they will weave into the MOLLE and they actually lock. What you can do is have a lanyard, and when you pull them, they pop open and you can pull these out, which say it was used for this IFAK. When you pull them out, your IFAK falls away from your body. So say it was in the back, you just pull it out and you can pull your IFAK out ready to go, rather than digging in the back while you're wounded and trying to see, what's in there. You can easily bring it up to your front and then do what you need to. Maybe you just have one, maybe you have an injury to the arm and you're doing it all one-handed, which I recommend training in that aspect. Really nice. There's other ways of doing it too. So this is a plate carrier one, or a plate carrier based IFAK. Really nice because this will fit up inside your plates and has a little pull tab that you can kind of peek out of the whatever it is, zipper or normally Velcro that's in there. So if you need it one-handed, you can pull it out and now you have all your stuff on you. And it doesn't take up an extra pouch or space, which you could put water or other mission essential gear or even ammunition in this place. So as long as people know that's your SOP and that's where it is, not be like, oh, this guy doesn't have an IFAK, bummer. But it has a lot of items in it. Now, this is a little bit expensive. Can you make this? Of course. Could you make this with cheaper? Plastic bag, tape duct tape to it. Stick it up inside, works the same exact way. You can open this up, get all your items outside of it. If you have the money, definitely go for something nice, but you can kind of makeshift little items like that. You do want a protective barrier on the outside of your items because you don't want it to get punctured or, contaminated with dirt and debris and other stuff. Granted, mine's very dusty, but all the seals are good on it because if you're really going to use this stuff, it's going to get dirty when you're moving around training or even being operational, if some of you are. First item in the IFAK, which I would recommend. If you don't have anything else, get a tourniquet and get a quality one. Unfortunately, do not go to Amazon and get a tourniquet. You need to go to a reputable site. There's a lot of Chinese and Taiwanese and just other knockoff from overseas that are not making quality stuff. They will break. I have saw it personally. No joke, cranking a tourniquet down and it busted off. And when we went immediately to a soft tee, which I both recommend, cat and soft tee. Now there's a couple others too we'll discuss in a little bit. But saw it busted off, we went immediately to another one. Looking back on it, we pulled it out, looked at it like, hey, what broke with this? Hey, we started looking at it, not a real cat tourniquet. That's why it broke. First-hand experience, you can take that one to the bank. So, tourniquet, that's what I recommend. Next, progressing into other items, Israeli bandages. These are pretty reasonably cheap, honestly, for what they are. They're about $10 to $14, $15 for the smaller ones or the medium-sized ones, which I think this one literally says $10.95 on it, and they're sealed up proper in their containers. Here's one that I have open that I've used for, training and other stuff like that, but I'll show you what they look like on the inside. It is a compression bandage. This is what you would place. You see this big tail kind of thing, but you would unravel this and you would place this on the specific wound, and then you would wrap it. So what you do is you would wrap it once, and you see this little alligator clip here, actually. You would place this inside the tail, and then you would bring it back around itself. So as you cinch it down, say I would push it through there, you would bring it back around itself and then really cinch it down because it is a compression bandage. Once you get to the end, it also has one of these clips, you can see, and you would actually clip it back onto itself and it would stay just like that. These are great. I recommend having a lot. Honestly, I have tons of extra medical stuff in different kits that I just throw around, and I just have extras in case they get used, in case someone else doesn't have one, stuff like that. But I would highly recommend these Israeli bandages. Very cheap, work very well. Next, what I recommend is having gauze in your kit, some kind of, preferably Z-fold gauze, which is good for wound packing. So wound packing is extremities, not your abdominal, because if you just pack into an abdominal, you're just gonna lose got like 20 of these things, honestly. They're just going to be stuffed in there, have bloating. So you use those in extremities, groin type of stuff like that to stop bleeding after you, and then you put pressure and fun stuff like that. So gauze is a recommendation. Next, going to be moving into a coagulating based agent, which in my recommendation. A lot of people will say, oh, get with the times, we don't use combat gauze anymore. Well, we have for a very long time, and it works very well. I think it's derived from shellfish, which is a coagulant, which stops bleeding and whatnot. It's a shellfish-based product or whatnot. So if you want to look more details into it, you can, do it on another video. But highly recommend to have this because you can place this, then pack maybe, so you have an injury somewhere, you can pack this because this is a Z-fold gauze with coagulant in it, and then place your compression bandage over top of it. So you can use multiple compression bandages too. You can place one and then add another one on top in case it bleeds through. Granted, we're getting in a little more details, but I just want to show you what we have. Different sizes. You can have larger stuff, medium-sized stuff, and smaller stuff. One other item that I would recommend having as well, which this is the basics here, so don't get on my back if like, oh, you don't have a decompression needle. You need one of those, even though you don't know how to use it. Arguable. Okay, I'll take it. But a chest seal, which is also in here, strung out along here too. Chest seal, so air doesn't get inside your lung or your cavity, abdominal cavity, and then compress your lungs, and then you can't breathe. That's the down and dirty part. There's way more terminology behind it. So those are the items that I recommend having in your IFAK. Having about 3 tourniquets. These are about 30 bucks a pop. I get it, 90 bucks right off the bat. Man, that's a lot. Life-saving equipment, you kind of need it. So that is IFAK. So let's progress into a CLS kit. CLS kit, I think, is for others. IFAK for individual, for you, or for your other person that has one on themselves. And a CLS kit is much larger and has a lot more items. Kind of the same as the IFAK, just more expanded upon. So more like CPR masks, stuff like that, ABCs. I have Mylar blankets to treat for shock, which this is a, multiple people will be utilizing this. Also, I have chem sticks or Siloom chem sticks in here, which I'll get you a better shot so you can kind of see inside what's going on. And those are for marking people or marking locations. If you throw down a red chem stick, hey, I got 3 people down over by the red chem stick. Can you go over there? If you have like a trained, certified CLS individual, or maybe you have a nurse or a doctor within your neighborhood that acts as that, medical technician, then you can kind of direct them where to go if you can't get those wounded people to you. Now, I guarantee people are just going to jump all over my back, and I will leave that up here for this little piece of equipment right here, which is a rat's tourniquet. I know the comments just exploded and people saying, oh, it's a trash tourniquet, don't use it, and just going off and getting something better. So I have reasonably a good experience with using a cat, which I love cat tourniquets, but on treating small children, their limbs are very small. This bar will not compress very well around a small limb. We had this issue in Afghanistan when we were treating, local kids and stuff like that. Couldn't really get the bleeding to stop with something like this. Someone designed more of a elastic based, and this worked really well because it doesn't matter how big the limb is, as long as you wrap and pull, it is going to create compression. Now, do I recommend this as your primary tourniquet? No, it is specifically used in a practical, specific application. So all y'all getting in the comments saying it's a trash tourniquet, get off my back. I only use it in certain scenarios for kids. Good for that. That's why it was designed. They just kind of blew it out of proportion and said other stuff. Also, duct tape, SAM splint. Those are really good as well. And if you want, get a large abdominal wound Israeli bandage. These are really nice too. A little bit more expensive, but they're always in here as well. Trauma shears, also keep those in your IFAK. I think I missed those. They're under here. I recommend putting those in your IFAK as well, but also CLS kit. This one has a lanyard to it, so if you drop them, they zip right back to the bag. You don't have to worry about it. This was a standard issue kit back a couple years ago, and I just modify it as time goes on. Things kind of go old, I will update it. So CLS kit, pretty much the IFAK just expanded with a couple more specific items. Now you can attach that to your third line gear if you want. You know, have a designated person that is CLS or more highly trained, qualified to use, more knowledgeable on it. If not, give someone, if you don't have anybody like that, somebody's getting a crash course in it. So progressing into third line gear, which is going to be the next video, but kind of with the CLS kit. This is my third line gear, which we also talked about. The ammo-wise is having extra ammunition that you can strategically place somewhere. That would be this kit. So I can strategically place ammo somewhere, but in the bottom of this is a full, reasonably CLS kit that I kind of merged out of one of my other kits. So now you have medical in one location and you have ammunition along with all your other stuff like water and stuff like that, which we are going to get in the next video. Like I said, third line gear. What's all this, you know, equipment that I should reasonably have for a Minuteman kit to protect your neighborhood and stuff like that. So do a quick recap. IFAK, CLS kit. Those are the two I recommend. Recommend specific items. Two companies that I recommend is North American Rescue and then actually a YouTuber, Skinny Medic on YouTube. Go take a look. He has his own website. He has quality-based products and practical application videos, how to use all that stuff. Definitely take a look at that kind of stuff. They're invaluable. You need medical stuff. So if you didn't take away anything from this video, I want you to take two things away from it. Just two. Have tourniquets, at least 3, strategically placed on you. Next, seek training. Go out and get training. YouTube works as a good trainer. I would physically try to go to training and get involved. There's a lot of stuff out there that is cheaper. There's some stuff expensive, but those are the 2 recommendations that I have. So if you guys enjoy this kind of stuff, definitely hit like, hit subscribe. If you guys want to donate, I have PayPal. There is Patreon out there. Patreon gets to see all this stuff more in detail, some of the little items and my daily life and, you know, other stuff like that. If you don't, cool. I'm not too concerned. Just keep enjoying the free content here on YouTube. I mean, I don't got much else to say than that. Then hit subscribe, like, and I hope y'all have a great day.